a number of years, and the object of today is to help people who've never cut a pig up before be able to attempt it and succeed in it. So the butchery today. Right, now we're on to the loin. Andrew said that he wants this one for bacon, so we'll do this a little bit different to what we do for as if we're going to cut it into chops. So the first off is to take the chump off, which comes obviously next to the leg. So in here we just feel for the end of the bone in there. Just mark that down and then just saw that off. And the bone that I was feeling for is just that little bit there.
Oh right, I see, yeah.
So if you come too far up here, you hit the bone. If you come too far over, you leave a pork chop on there, and when you bone it out, it goes to sausages instead of chops. So if we, it is a little bit hit and miss with that, but generally we get it 9 times out of 10. So what we do is, because this is going to be rindless, it's easy. You want it rindless back?
I don't mind it being on personally, but
it's up to you, because the keel will get through better if you've got the rind off.
Let's take it off then,
yeah. So right, you can have the rind off, and I find it a lot easier to take the rind off with the bone still left in, because it's standing up, it's more solid than what it would be if you took the bones out, it moves about a bit. So I just start off at this corner, and then mark it all the way along. And then that's all we do, all the way down. And just use the thumb just to pull it away so you can see where you're cutting. There we go, and that's the rind off.
So that would make a nice bit of crackling, would it?
Oh yeah, lovely. In places you can feel where the thickest fat is, and if you want, you can just take that back just a touch, just to make it a little bit more even all the way along. But you can feel, you can feel where where it's a little bit more proud than other places. But I think that will be just the right amount of cover.
Well, it's nice,
So like a nice back for curing. Right, now to take the bones out, because we don't want to cut it, we've got to take all of this lot out in one go. So I come underneath the rib cage here, and then follow it all the way around. But be careful, because the backbone here is intact, here it isn't. So if you come round, the knife can slip out. Obviously when you get to here, make sure that this hand is well out of the way. So then we go round again a little bit further. So what you're doing, you're making your way into the loin from this end. Right, now I've got as far as I can really from this end. We turn it round and then go from the other end. And obviously with this end, this is the bit where the fillet come out. So if you just take this little bit out here, you can just see where the ends of the bones are. Come along here. We've got one little rib cage in there. There we go. So again, knife underneath that bone, bring it up. So you're up underneath that bone. There you go. Again, if you push the meat up, gravity will take this bit away, and that will enable you to see rough, you know, where you've got to cut really. On this bit here, I'll show you now, there's just a little ridge that will prevent you from taking it out in one go. But we will get that, we will show you where that is. There we go, and that's all out. And that's the bone where your ridge is. You come down, and you've got to turn it a little bit and then down again to get it over that ridge. So what we'll do is, we'll saw these bones off, so you've got the little baby back ribs. This will go straight for curing.
But just out of interest with curing, would you do the whole loin or would you cut it into a couple of... is it just a matter of space or
yeah, what size bags you got and where you can do it. You know, if you was to buy one in the shop, you get it whole.
Right.
But if it's easy for you to cut it in half and cure it in 2 bits, then you know you've got.
I've got one of those. Well, it's called a food saver, but it's the, I guess, the domestic style vac pack basically. But it's got rolls of stuff, so I can easily fit the whole thing in. I just didn't think if there was
but no, if you can cut it into 3 or 4 bits and cure it. You know, if you wanted to, you could cut it into 4 bits and have one as beer bacon, treacle bacon.
I see what you mean.
Honey bacon, and as long as you got your dry cure mixer, you can put whatever you want with it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So and that's how you do the loin. I would just take a little thin bit off,
just squaring it out.
Just with that little bit off, it just makes it look.
It does, yeah. I can see what you're saying.
So much neater.
Yeah.
So much better. So that is how we do the loin for bacon. And now the chump. Again, just with the tip of your knife, just follow the bone round. This bone you trim up a little bit afterwards because you can't.
It looks quite an awkward shape to be cutting round, to be fair.
It is an awkward shape, but there's just places that you can't get a knife into while you're boning it out. You know, it's...
So, and you say typically you'd chuck this into sausage, would you?
No, I put that into steaks.
Oh, okay.
But this bit of meat in here, obviously when you're boning it out, you can't...
I see, you can't get to it.
You can't physically get to it, so we just take that bit out afterwards. A little bit in here as well. Get that out. And a little bit out of here. There we go. So what I do for this bit here is, where the eye of the meat come round, I'll just cut down, straight down, onto the rind. Okay. These bits will go for sausages, that will go for whatever. And then just check for these little bits that comes off the tail.
Yeah. So these are all things that, you know, us, you know, unskilled smallholders, you know, wouldn't know to look for that kind of thing. You see what I mean? So it's a good point. They almost look like sirloins.
Well, in beef, this would be your rump steak.
Oh, right, this would be your rump. All right, okay.
Yeah, and you can see that the amount of fat on that. If we hadn't have took that off here, that would be roughly the thickness of fat on some of the back, some of the bone. But if we was in the shop, you know, we'd just trim that bit off. But beans is for home kill.
Oh no,
you'd just leave it on. But for presentation in a shop,
I see what you mean.
You just take that bit of fat down because a lot of people don't eat fat.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's the best bit.
That's where the flavour is.
Yeah. There we go. That's the back done. Now we come down to the loin. We'll cut this one into chops. So we've done the other one into a loin for bacon. So this one we'll do into chops. With the rib bones, they've got a slight curve on them. So I always look to see where the bone is going. So try to hit in between in the bones. So you get one rib, one chop. Where the bone now is going over, so what you need to do is put your knife in at an angle and then bring it back down that bone. So everything is looking nice and even. And the same with that one. We're getting a bit thicker, so we just bring it back down again. And this should be the last one we have to do that to. Now we've got one more. There we go. And now we've got rid of all the rib bones. So now we're on to the pork chops without the rib bones in. There we go. So we've now got the loin cut all into the chops. What we do is, because most people haven't got a cleaver, and you don't need a cleaver as such, what we can do, we can always saw them, because we cut right down to the bone. So all we can do is just saw them through, and then you've got your chops as you would in the butcher shop, but instead of buying a saw and a cleaver, all you really need, you can do it with a saw. So this would be the only thing that you would need a cleaver for. So to save buying a cleaver, you can do it. Take a little bit longer, but the result is the same, and it saves you hitting your fingers and taking your fingers off, because they are quite tricky. Because when you use your cleaver, you've got to hold it and you've got to hit in between here. Sorry, you've got to hit in between here, and if you're not confident with a cleaver, then I would suggest the safest way is just to have them over the side of your table or worktop, and then just saw them like that, and you've got your pork chops. There we go. Take a little bit longer, but yeah,
it's fine. Yeah.
Grip it like that and pull the bone away, and then you'll find that when you cut down, all you've got to do is follow the bone with the tip of your knife. Now underneath that joint,